start the video?
So we are going live right now.
Okay.
So you can, yeah.
So welcome everybody who is watching us. We are very happy and pleased with your interest in the results of the PRODIGY postgrad course that we are going to present today. So to get into the mood, we are flying into the Amazon with already a product of our PRODIGY postgrad course. Please screen up, Claudia.
Okay.
A Amazônia tem um papel importante na regulação do clima, onde as chuvas são bem distribuídas ao longo do ano. A quantidade e a distribuição das chuvas na região amazônica são essenciais, tanto para os ecossistemas, como para a rica biodiversidade existente. Um fenômeno fantástico que ocorre nessa região é conhecido como rios voadores. Trata-se de um volumoso rio que voa no sentido leste-oeste da região norte do Brasil. Quando chega nos Andes peruano, faz a curva e é direcionado para a região centro-sul do país e parte da América do Sul. Nesse processo, vapores d'água do Oceano Atlântico são trazidos para dentro do Brasil através das correntes de ventos alísios, encontram os vapores de água que são reciclados pela floresta amazônica através da excepcional capacidade que as árvores têm de absorver grande quantidade de água do solo e direcionar para a atmosfera pelo processo de evapotranspiração. Esses vapores de água, aliados aos aerossóis que são produzidos pelas copas das árvores, ao se unirem, se condensam, se transformando em chuva e garantindo uma boa distribuição dessas chuvas, tanto na região amazônica, quanto no centro-sul do país e até boa parte da América do Sul. Essas chuvas distribuídas de forma regular ao longo do ano garantem boa irrigação do solo, colheitas fartas das plantações e favorecem também uma importante parte da economia brasileira que é advinda da agricultura. Estudos científicos apontam que a floresta amazônica possui 5,5 milhões de quilômetros quadrados, que representa 40% de toda a floresta tropical global. Os ecossistemas amazônicos possuem de 10 a 15% de toda a biodiversidade terrestre e armazena de 150 a 200 bilhões de toneladas de carbono. Todos esses elementos fazem da floresta amazônica um bem imensurável para o planeta, sendo necessária sua preservação.
So, jetzt machen wir unsere Präsentation an, ne?
Ja, aber.
Okay. So thank you very much. This was the video of one of our working groups about the important topic of flying rivers. It is largely unknown, at least in Germany, that this is one of the most important functions of the Brazilian rainforest. And it is a very professional product, this video, and it already shows one of the dilemmata of our course, which is the language problem. So all through our course, we were talking English, Spanish, and Portuguese, and always hoping that the passive knowledge of all participants is enough. So to be true to our principles, it will stay like this today. We will introduce the course to the people who don't know it and all the products. And I do it together with my assistant, Claudia Pinzon. And we were kind of building up, coordinating, and inventing and reinventing this course since August 2020. The course is a kind of product of Corona. It was an idea that we developed in this virtual form because we couldn't go to the field and we couldn't realize an analog course in the MAP region. So it was a very happy coincidence which made that we met all of you and had a marvelous time working virtually together and making friendships virtually, something which I never thought before was possible. Criatividade, comunicação, cooperação e pensamento crítico. These are our basic ideas to push forward this course. We will present you in a very short form what the course was about, so that you who are watching and not knowing the course have a context for the course results. We do it in different languages as always, and I hand over to Claudia for the next slide.
Yo ahora les voy a hablar en español. De mi parte también muy bienvenidos y bienvenidas a este evento de clausura, donde vamos a mostrar los diferentes productos que las y los participantes hicieron durante el curso virtual de PRODIGY. Entonces, el programa de hoy, como ya vieron, enseñamos primero este video de los ríos voladores del grupo 4, y luego de nuestra introducción corta a lo que fue el curso y lo que será el curso posterior en este año, queremos tener un espacio para que cada grupo pueda presentar en una forma más o menos como de Science Slam sus productos que crearon a lo largo del curso, y luego como en medio de cada presentación habrán también otros videos que fueron creados durante el curso y también un podcast. Entonces, sí, les damos la bienvenida, y esta primera parte va a ser internamente en Zoom con este live stream en YouTube. Y luego, si quieren unirse a la discusión como más profunda acerca de los temas que se dieron en el curso o también de la experiencia en el curso, los invitamos a que puedan accesar al link de Zoom que también les fue enviado en la invitación.
Okay, thank you, Claudia. So the form of presentation, the Science Slam, was an idea to facilitate difficult and interdisciplinary contents and make it available to everybody and for the understanding of everybody who watches it with interest in simple words. It's a very difficult form of science communication because it ought to be simple. Next slide. During the whole PRODIGY postgrad course, we try to be really interdisciplinary, meaning that we had to explain our thoughts to always people with different disciplines. This made that we had a peer learning process within the project, within the group, that we have a very strong exchange with the people living and working and researching in the MAP region. And I hope it led us to critical thinking and supporting research, creativity, and cooperation within the course and with our research partners in the region.
Otro de los objetivos que teníamos dentro de este curso era también el de crear espacios donde pudiéramos aprender más sobre las oportunidades, pero también sobre los retos de la práctica científica inter y transdisciplinaria. También queríamos hablar más acerca de los tipping points o de los puntos de inflexiones y cómo estos afectan no solo a los sistemas naturales como los suelos y las plantas, sino también a sistemas sociales como los mercados locales, las familias, comunidades. También queríamos ahondar en las dinámicas de los conflictos agrarios, específicamente en la región MAP, en la Amazonía sur-occidental. Y también queríamos platicar de cómo la gobernanza y el diálogo entre diferentes actores, tanto locales como internacionales, es de suma importancia para ver estos temas de una forma como más holística, de una forma más contextual. Y paso a la siguiente slide.
Mm-hmm. Here you have a table that you can find in a better and more detailed form on our website as well. It shows you the products we produced and the target group to who it is being directed. So there are kind of technical target groups, but there are as well target groups for high schools, for NGOs, for community members. It always depends whether it is a kind of video, an animated video, or it is a podcast or a working paper, which is generally more complex. And this gives you a little overview over the products of our 5 working groups that you're going to see in detail.
Mm-hmm.
Next.
Yeah.
Okay, Claudia, start with Spanish and then I sum it up in English.
Sí, entonces como ya les contábamos, esta fue la primera vez que hicimos el curso de PRODIGY y esta vez fue de forma solo virtual por la situación de la pandemia y ahora queremos hacerlo de nuevo para el año 2021-2022, empezando en octubre. Y la idea es igual hacerlo de forma virtual, pero si la situación lo permite, esperamos que pueda tener componentes presenciales en la región MAP. Actualmente también hay un proceso para que las universidades locales puedan como involucrarse más en el proceso del curso y también poder certificarlo, porque por el momento el curso, cuando lo finalizan, reciben los participantes un certificado de la Universidad de Landau, de Koblenz-Landau, acá en Alemania, y uno de los objetivos es de que este curso también sea reconocido por las universidades de la región MAP. Y un objetivo que en lo personal a mí me gusta mucho y creo que es muy importante de mencionar, es que la idea es al final que cuando el proyecto de PRODIGY acabe su trabajo en la región, que va a ser como en el 2025, este curso pueda quedarse en la región de una forma como independiente a lo que fue o a lo que es el proyecto de PRODIGY, y esto puede ser como una contribución a una práctica científica más sostenible a largo plazo.
Mm-hmm. So you could read it in the English version. What for me personally is most important is that when we do research in a region, that we co-produce the knowledge, and the co-production of knowledge is only possible with people who are living and working there. And so we have students who know the region, and we have students from other areas and teaching staff from all over the world, mainly from PRODIGY members. And so we can co-produce knowledge and can redistribute something to the region where we understand so much about our research questions. And the course and its installation on a more institutionalized level for us gives us a possibility to redistribute something that we are getting in the region. Next. Okay, this is a little bit advertisement for the next course, which will start in October. You will find it on the website as well, the call. The deadline for applications for the next PRODIGY postgrad course is the 15th of July. Many really interesting applications were already incoming, and we are anxious to wait for more. Looking forward meeting you in case you are assisting our presentation. Next. And now you in Spanish, and then we're done.
Esto es, como dijo Regina, un poquito de publicidad para el siguiente curso que va a empezar en octubre. La aplicación la pueden encontrar en nuestra página de internet. Por el momento está ahí solo en inglés, pero también va a estar en español y portugués. Si ven este código QR, ahí pueden ahorita escanearlo y así los va a redireccionar a la página de PRODIGY, donde pueden ver esta convocatoria para que quienes estén interesadas puedan aplicar hasta el 15 de julio.
Yeah, it works. I tried it out. Yeah, it works. This is great. So next slide.
Yeah, I'm already in the next slide. Yes, we are also really happy to tell you that we already launched our PRODIGY podcast, which is called Digging for Diversity. And here again, if you scan this QR code, you can go into the link and you will find some, like the first episode, the teaser of the podcast, and then tomorrow or every second Thursday, in the, as Rebecca called it, Tropical Thursday, you will get to know a new episode. And yes, in this space, I also want to thank Diego Guarín, who also participated in the course, who made this cover art for the podcast. So I hope you can listen to it and share it. Lo voy a decir en español, de forma también resumida, que estamos muy contentos en el proyecto de poder hoy contarles que ya salió el podcast Digging for Diversity, que es el podcast del proyecto de PRODIGY que he estado haciendo con Rebeca y también con otros colegas y con participantes del curso. Ya lo pueden encontrar en Spotify y va a estar en otras plataformas. Si ven ahí igual otra vez ese código QR, pueden escanearlo y ahí eso los va a llevar a la página donde está el podcast. Y así como el curso y como esta presentación, el podcast también tiene programas o episodios que van a estar en inglés, otros en portugués, otros en español, dependiendo a quienes invitamos para conversar. Entonces los quiero invitar a que puedan escucharlo y puedan compartirlo también con personas que puedan estar interesadas por estos temas. And then, well, I don't know. If you want to add something more, Regina. También tiene programas o episodios que van a estar en inglés, otros en portugués. I think someone is in the YouTube video. Para conversar. Entonces, los quiero invitar a que puedan escucharlo y puedan compartirlo también con personas que puedan estar interesadas por estos temas.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. So we are through with our short presentation.
If you have the YouTube open, I am listening.
Okay.
Yes, and it's from the YouTube, but I don't know who has it open. Okay. It disappeared, so good. Yes, so now we would continue with the dialogue that working group prepared. I don't know if you're already ready. Then we would start with that, and then we would take a look to the video, to the animated video working group also worked on about symbiosis. So the stage is yours.
Hi everyone. So I'm representing working group 1. We worked on functional diversity, especially in soils, and with a special focus on the symbiosis between plants, fungi, and animals. And for that, we prepared a video that we will show later. It's focusing on the symbiosis between plants, fungi, and animals, and how the humans disturb this natural system, and how, and the video ends with a call for more natural management of nature. And yeah, so Sylvia, she will present with me the dialogue, which is a kind of introduction to the importance of functional diversity. Yeah, before watching the video. So, hi Sylvia, long time we don't meet each other, but I am glad to see you on this inter and transdisciplinary conference.
Hey Moritz, yes, it's been a very long time, but I'm glad to see you in this breakout session. Unfortunately, it seems that we are the only ones.
True. Maybe people are still not aware of the great opportunities that come along with functional diversity.
Yeah, many people think it's just something useful for the environment, which is of course right. But I recently heard of a study that even more diverse companies are more successful and productive. Do you hear about this?
Indeed, I actually participated in this study and find it amazing how functional diversity helps us humans to succeed. It is also quite logical that people with different backgrounds, gender, or qualifications complement each other. Then we help each other and get to the best solution or the most appropriate decision. So it's scientifically proven that diversity itself is beneficial for us.
Cool. In natural systems, this works pretty similar, and you forgot to mention that not only the productivity is enhanced, but also the resilience. Here, in my study area in the Amazon, we observed that human intervention has led to a dramatic loss of biodiversity. Many of the lost species were part of symbiosis, which means mutual cooperations between two or more species. For example, many trees of the rainforest and even crops work together with fungi in the soil to receive many important nutrients and to grow bigger. In turn, they provide sugars to fungi that cannot produce them by themselves. However, once the humans convert the forest into pastures or agricultural fields, many fungi disappear. Plants and the few trees left remain without their helpers and are strongly affected by droughts or very high temperatures.
Wow, I didn't know about this issue, but it is very sad to hear. So many species are lost forever. And these periods of drought and high temperatures are becoming stronger and stronger with the ongoing climate change. I also just heard about this, but in a different context. To live in cities has become intolerable and even dangerous. Every year, many people die in the concrete jungle during periods of high temperatures. Again, a diverse structure of urban and green areas would help to attenuate this problem. Just imagine if water bodies, large green areas, green roofs, and less traffic would be central goals of urban planners. This would make many cities much more diverse and increase life quality. Like the symbiosis, humans must collaborate and support nature in order to receive their benefits.
This is a very good example. I heard about the benefits that come along with building green cities, and it is similar in tropical agriculture. In near-to-future systems, for example, in agroforestry, we try to maintain the structure of the forests and the natural relationships between organisms to benefit from them. And in the end, it is for the same purpose, to increase resilience against extreme events of drought and heat.
Amazing. We have to really raise awareness for these issues and spread the concept of functional diversity all over the globe.
Definitely. So let me show you a video we produced on this topic.
Thank you. I will share my screen then.
Please.
Há muito tempo, antes de o mundo ser como conhecemos hoje, todos os reinos viviam em harmonia. A natureza era diversa e os reinos colaboravam uns com os outros. Com o passar do tempo, a descoberta do fogo e a criação de ferramentas, os humanos, que pertenciam ao reino animal, decidiram que eram demasiado inteligentes para fazer parte de um reino tão selvagem e desafiaram a natureza para criar o seu próprio reino. Eliminaram muitos seres que ali viviam e as suas relações amigáveis. E também mudaram a disponibilidade de água e alimentos. Com esse novo cenário, os cogumelos no seu reino subterrâneo tentaram sobreviver num solo com poucos nutrientes disponíveis e sonharam que a sua sorte iria mudar numa realidade onde teriam mais recursos. Um dia, um fungo curioso, chamado Raimunda risolina, estava à procura de nutrientes muito perto da superfície do solo, quando conheceu a Gouticutia.
Bom dia, senhora Guti.
Bom dia, Risolina.
O que estás a fazer com essas castanhas?
Pertence a Joana Castanheira. Apesar de fazer parte de outro reino, Joana é muito amável, de mente aberta e temos um acordo de ajuda mútua.
E o que é essa ajuda mútua?
Podemos comer essas deliciosas castanhas. E, em troca, só temos de enterrar algumas para que possam nascer novas castanhas. Infelizmente, devido à falta de água e nutrientes, a produção de castanhas diminuiu ao longo dos anos, o que não é bom para o nosso negócio. O corte indiscriminado de árvores está a destruir os solos florestais.
Interessante. Nós do reino dos fungos somos muito bons em coletar água e nutrientes do solo. O meu avô nos disse que, antes do homem destruir a nossa casa, a nossa família e as árvores trabalhavam em conjunto. Mas agora não resta uma única árvore em nossas terras. Todas elas foram cortadas e queimadas.
Você deveria falar com Francisco Samaúma, porque ele é a árvore mais velha e sábia da floresta. É ele quem fala pelas árvores. Talvez vocês e o reino das plantas possam voltar a se unir.
E onde está ele?
Naquele momento, um barulho ensurdecedor atravessou a floresta. Os seres humanos, que agora possuíam armas de fogo e caçavam animais para se alimentar e para vender sua carne e peles, estavam nas proximidades.
Preciso ir antes de me tornar um almoço para os humanos. Siga em frente pelo caminho onde vim e encontrará Francisco Samaúma.
Quando chegou ao local onde a Gold tinha indicado, Raimunda risolina viu uma árvore em todo o seu esplendor. Os raios do sol pareciam beijar as suas folhas verdes e o seu robusto tronco dava a impressão de que podia fazer qualquer coisa. Risolina pôde sentir através do olhar de Francisco toda a calma e sabedoria de uma árvore que viveu durante muitos anos.
Olá, pequenino. Qual é o teu nome?
O meu nome é Raimunda risolina, responsável por explorar e encontrar nutrientes para a minha comunidade. Mas como a nossa casa foi destruída, estamos a sofrer com a falta de recursos.
Houve uma época, há muitos anos, em que nenhum de nós precisava sofrer. Uma época em que éramos um só. Mas agora, os humanos tornaram-se nossos inimigos e estão também a destruir o que já foi a sua casa.
Quem me dera ter conhecido este tempo em paz e prosperidade.
Podemos trazer a prosperidade de volta, unindo os nossos reinos, Risolina. É cada vez mais difícil para as nossas raízes captar água do solo, mas sei que vocês são excelentes nisto.
Sim, temos corpos ultrafinos e, por causa disso, somos capazes de explorar os menores espaços no solo e coletar água e nutrientes.
Pode fornecer água e fósforo às nossas raízes e, em troca, podemos oferecer a nossa seiva como fonte de energia.
Eu e meus irmãos não permitiremos que os micróbios prejudiquem as vossas raízes. Isto é, claro, se a minha comunidade concordar com esta união.
Raimunda Risolina foi imediatamente contar à sua comunidade sobre a conversa que teve com Francisco Samaúma. Alguns fungos do reino acharam assustadora a ideia de se associar às plantas. Outros pensaram que associar-se a elas poderia representar um risco. Mas, apesar de tantas incertezas, o reino dos fungos decidiu dar uma oportunidade ao reino das plantas. Os fungos foram então celebrar essa união, chamada simbiose, juntamente com Francisco Samaúma, Joana Castanheira, Antônia Açaí, Catarina Cedro e todas as outras árvores do reino das plantas. A família de Risolina trouxe frascos cheios de água, fósforo e outros nutrientes que foram servidos durante a festa. Como cortesia, as árvores ofereceram seiva rica em carbono e assim as festividades continuaram em um dia ensolarado. Felizes por mais uma vez terem uma comunidade, agora unificada. Risolina abraçou alegremente as raízes das árvores e falou com elas sobre como elas seriam resistentes para sempre. A festa entre as árvores e os fungos chamou a atenção de um belo morcego chamado Morceguinho. Enquanto ele voava por entre as copas das árvores, Morceguinho também desempenhava com dedicação o seu papel de polinizar as flores e distribuir as sementes das árvores, garantindo seu sustento. Ao ver o entusiasmo de Risolina, ele decidiu se intrometer na conversa.
Isso não é verdade.
Raimunda Risolina olhou para o céu e à sua volta para procurar aquela voz, que parecia saber mais sobre a sua vida do que ela, o que, na sua opinião, era muito estranho.
Não!
Claro que não. É verdade que já fomos muito felizes na natureza, quando éramos uma comunidade unificada e próspera. Mas as atividades dos seres humanos mudaram tanto o nosso ambiente que perdemos amigos e recursos para sobreviver. E agora, ao longo dos anos, está ficando cada vez mais quente. Não sei como, mas tenho quase a certeza de que isso também é culpa deles. Posso ver todos os dias como a floresta está encolhendo e que há cada vez menos árvores para nos alimentar. Resistimos corajosamente, mas não sei por quanto tempo mais. Nesta guerra, na verdade, nunca deveria ter existido. No passado, os humanos eram nossos amigos.
Como os humanos são tolos, que não veem como a nossa união também os beneficia.
E você? Sim, você mesmo. Estou falando com você, que está nos vendo do outro lado da tela. Quanto tempo você ficará sentado, enquanto a natureza luta pela sua sobrevivência? Não deixe que uma história tão bonita de amizade entre os reinos da natureza não tenha um final feliz, e que sejam felizes para sempre.
Ok, material didático, very good didactic material for schools. Perhaps we should translate it to English as well. No? So it could be used in schools here as well, because it's Definitely. Not, no, it's about the same problems we have. What do you think, Jens? Could we translate it?
Hi everybody, I was a bit late, sorry. Oliver already agreed that we have the money to do a Spanish dub with English subtitles, and from there on we take it. That's the idea. So in the making, Dalia again is the strong person pushing it forward here.
Yeah, it's very good for schools. It's an excellent result. Okay, just to remind you that after this YouTube session, we go in breakup rooms with the working group. So the discussion and questions will take place in the working groups afterwards. So now we move to the presentation of working group 2. Claudia, what is coming?
Yeah, now working group number 2 worked on non-timber forest products, and they made a working paper about it and did some online interviews. And yes, they are going to present us their work.
Okay, so I'm going to share the screen. Yes. Just give me a second. Okay, you can see the presentation now, right? Okay, so let's start with the presentation. First of all, thanks to all for being here. And we as group 2 decided to work with the topic about non-timber forest products in the map region. But first of all, let me ask you, some of you, the members of the group, if you know what exactly are non-timber forest products. For instance, I want to ask, for instance, Loreto is there? Oh, sorry. For instance, Loreto, can you or do you know what are non-timber forest products? Just like an introductory question.
Tal vez puedes traducir la pregunta solo para...
Ah, ok, Loreto, disculpa. Bueno, Loreto.
Mejor.
No, bueno, pues te queremos preguntar de forma introductoria si tú sabes cuáles o qué son los productos forestales no maderables, de qué tratan o de qué son exactamente, si tienes una idea de lo que son.
Sí, algo. Son productos como frutas o partes de la corteza o que se pueden usar, semillas. Sí, que no son típicamente de madera.
En resumen, sí, es eso, pero pues vamos a darle paso a Mariana, que nos explique un poco más de este tema. Entonces, pues Mariana, te escuchamos.
Malika? Actually, I know the answer.
Malika.
Do you hear me?
Sí. Yeah.
Okay, so very good, Loreto. We see that the non-timber forest products are goods derived from forest ecosystems, excluding timber. Some examples are, indeed, fruits, seeds, fibers, resins, latex, bark. And for Amazon species, we have açaí, rubber tree, Brazil nut, copaíba, and they play an important role in the local economy in the map region because they express more than income for the local communities. And TFP reflect the livelihood of these traditional people, including their culture and their knowledge in using several species for food, medicine, handcrafts, among others. These reasons combined make that NTFP provide an important incentive for forest conservation. Mariana, could you please tell us why protected areas are important for the map region?
Yes, sure. Diego, can you please go ahead with the presentation?
Yes.
So, protected areas located in the map region have many important roles, including ensuring the provision of ecosystem service related to water, biodiversity, climate, soil, among others. The most part of the protected areas keep the forest standing by preventing the land use change and preventing also high impact economic use, for example, mining activities. We can find many traditional people living in these protected areas in the map region, and these traditional people used to do the forest management to obtain income with non-timber forest products and to sustain their livelihoods, respecting the protected areas rules. And I would like to ask Diego to tell us how was the study developed.
Yes, well, actually, we decided to first check 4 of the most important areas in the map region, 2 in Brazil, 2 reservas extrativistas in Acre, in Pando di Minority Wild Reserve in Bolivia, and in Madre de Dios in Peru, the Tambopata National Reserve. So based on the literature that we collected, one of the points that we consider important to look for was to develop a SWOT analysis considering 3 components: environmental, economic, and sociocultural, related obviously to non-timber forest products. And based on it, we formulated some strategy recommendations, exactly 4 types of strategy recommendations. And based on it, there was more sub recommendations in the context. So please now, Malika, can you please explain us or told us about example of these 2 recommendations first of all?
Of course, Diego. So here we have a gathering. The first one is gathering opportunities with strengths. So we highlight activities for promoting value chains on a sustainable basis. And on the other hand, when confronting threats with strengths, we reinforce the need of actions on reducing deforestation and land grabbing practices. Mariana, could you give us other 2 recommendations strategies?
Yes, sure. At the next step, for crossing weakness and opportunities, we establish some reinforcement strategy, and we recommend the implementation of policies for rural financing. Since the lack of financial resources can make unfeasible the improvement of non-timber forest products management activities. And finally, one example for a defensive strategy that would be to encourage some organizations through associativism and cooperativism. And what are the take-home lessons, Diego? Can you summarize for us?
Well, Yes, to summarize all the work that we made, some conclusions or lessons to take. For instance, we found that aspects like opportunities and weaknesses vary at local level in each reserve and also between each stakeholder in one of the reserves. For instance, the increasing on demand of non-timber forest products and also on governance within the communities. But similarities and strengths were found similar in some of the region. For instance, the management plans and operation plans follow more or less the same structure, and also the threats like the human impacts on the environment are quite notorious in this region. And an aspect also that we consider important is non-timber forest products is a topic where it's important to consider these technical standards without compromising the species and the dynamic of the ecosystems, warranting also the fair trades and of the products. So the traditional people is respecting the rules. So based on it, so we decided to make this SWOT analysis to make the balance between all the factors that influence the livelihood of the person, of the peoples there. Here also we see some of the stakeholders that participated in the study, and also will be interesting to replicate this experience with more people involved that could help to elaborate a diagnosis more detailed to foster associativity between them. And well, also another important aspect is what are we going to do with all this information that we had. So please, Malika, can you tell us what are we going to do? How are we going to communicate these outcomes?
Of course, Diego. So far, we have already done a working paper and an opinion article, and a podcast is on the way. It was very interesting to participate on this action, and we are now open to receive questions, suggestions, or comments. Thank you guys for your attention.
Yep. Thank you so much.
And thank you also to the participants of the interviews, the people from all the protected areas. We would like to thank them very, very much.
So thank you very much. This was very interesting, and you will find the working paper on the website. I hope soon, or is it there already? Yeah, it's there already. So the working paper on the website, and you can follow up the activities as soon as the podcast is ready. It will be available on our website as well. For questions and discussion, you will have the breakup rooms after the streaming session in YouTube. So how are we going to proceed, Claudia?
Yes, now we are watching another video of working group number 4 about migration. And yes, I will start it.
Aves, borboletas, baleias, todas migram. Inclusive os seres humanos. Nada mais natural do que migrar. As baleias de Barks, por exemplo, migram aproximadamente 1.550 quilômetros ao sul, longe do banco de abrolhos, durante os primeiros 12, 15 e 16 dias de migração. Eu sou acriana resultado da migração de nordestinos, indígenas, europeus e asiáticos. A escravidão dos africanos pode ter originado o higiene dos meus cabelos. Eu sou resultado da migração. A migração é um processo comum, seja no mundo natural, feita por borboletas, baleias e outros animais, seja feita também por seres humanos. Nós somos resultado da migração. O mundo atual envolve vários tipos. Imigrante é um deles. A etimologia nos diz que imigrar decorre da junção entre migrare, mudar de residência ou condição, e in, para dentro. Imigrar geralmente refere-se à entrada de uma pessoa a um determinado país e sua instalação. Para entrar em um país, porém, essa mesma pessoa teve de sair de outro. Também temos o termo emigrante. Imigrar e emigrar, de fato, podem formar um par de opostos, sendo a escolha por qual palavra utilizar apenas uma questão de ponto de vista, assumido pelo enunciador. Todo imigrante no país de destino é um emigrante no país de origem. Para o termo migrante, nós temos sujeitos de direitos, não definido a partir do seu sai ou entra de determinado território, ou mesmo se permanece nele. Trata-se, nesse sentido, de enfocar principalmente a migração enquanto fenômeno humano, que necessariamente atravessa os diferentes territórios nacionais, envolvendo diferentes atores e processos transnacionais. Também temos a migração temporária, que é o movimento de deslocamento de indivíduos e ou população em busca de melhores condições de sobrevivência no local de acolhimento, com intenção de regressar. Podemos ter como exemplo de migração temporária aquela feita por agricultores da região costeira de Piura, no Peru, que migram para diversificar sua renda durante os períodos de seca. Já em situações onde a permanência de indivíduos e ou populações em determinado local, após sair do seu local de origem e encontrar melhores condições de sobrevivência, nesse caso, sem intenção de regressar, chamamos de migração permanente. Embora os períodos sucessivos sejam a causa da migração permanente em algumas regiões, alguns estudos também observaram que as pessoas migram como forma de lidar com casos isolados de intensa inundação ou erosão das margens do rio, até as plantas migram. Nesse contexto de migração, vamos compreender como a região MAP é utilizada como corredor de migração. Considerando os limites transfronteiriços, a região MAP integra as regiões Madre de Dios, no Peru, Acre, no Brasil, e Pando, na Bolívia. Os limites entre as fronteiras dos três países possibilitam o fluxo de pessoas desde o século XIX. A definição da fronteira entre Brasil, Bolívia e Peru, região MAP, deu-se no contexto do extrativismo do látex, na passagem do século XIX e a primeira década do século XX. Desde então, o limite da região transfronteiriça foi consolidado, historicamente, sobre os territórios ancestrais de diversos povos indígenas. Assim, a faixa fronteiriça da região MAP é habitada por descendentes de diferentes povos nativos, e há pouco menos de 150 anos, por seringueiros, de origem nordestina, no caso do Brasil, e por imigrantes do altiplano, no caso da Bolívia e do Peru. Desde então, as fronteiras da região MAP são usadas como rota para o fluxo migratório e apresentam diferentes públicos durante o processo. Haitianos, senegaleses, dominicanos e venezuelanos são um exemplo de público que registraram a entrada no século atual. Ainda utilizando situações para a região MAP, vamos falar algumas informações recentes. Temos a nossa região, que é composta por migrantes, e também migrações que estão acontecendo agora. Precisamos compreender que problemas que levam pessoas a migrar. E não o contrário. Elas são os problemas, ou elas geram problemas. Nós herdamos problemas. Uma prova da solução é o resultado que eu vejo no espelho. Eu sou o resultado de que meus antepassados solucionaram seus problemas, ou boa parte deles. Eles conseguiram deixar descendentes, e eu sou prova disso. Mas isso não significa que sua vida foi uma maravilha, ou que eles não sofreram durante o processo. Essas marcas, essas informações estão no meu DNA. Olhe para sua mão agora. Quanta dor você sentiu durante o processo? Sua mão é o resultado de experiências ruins que outras pessoas passaram. E está aí, em você. Indígenas, nordestinos, japoneses. Você é o resultado de muito sofrimento, como os que a gente tem visto na região mar. Formatos diferentes, contextos diferentes. Mas nós estamos vendo isto acontecer em várias partes do mundo. Agora reflita. Não são eles. Somos nós. Nós somos migrantes. Nós somos seres humanos. Seres humanos são migrantes. Olhe a imagem e reflita. É ela ou somos nós no processo? Eu posso me sentir parte, mas não sou eu quem está sentindo o calor do asfalto. É preciso empatia e não diferenciação. Todos e todas nós somos migrantes, e essa é uma realidade mundial que precisa ser entendida. Migração pode ser uma indicação de que o mundo tem problemas. Terremotos e tsunamis possibilitam o deslocamento de pessoas. Secas severas e fome são outros exemplos diretos. E qual a resposta que temos tido ultimamente? Fechar as portas. Não deixar essas pessoas entrar. Mas por que não trabalhar onde temos situação ruim para fazer ficar melhor?
O países pobres, por exemplo, como o Haiti, seca e que não produz, isso faz com que as pessoas migrem. Então, o que eu proponho para evitar esse tipo de problema? Os países destino muitas vezes têm condições de ajudar, mas esse ajuda tem que ser de uma maneira pontual, em 3 fases: curto, médio e longo prazo. O que eu quis dizer sobre isso? O curto prazo é porque precisa saciar as necessidades básicas dos países pobres. E segundo, fazer a educação, formação adequada para que a pessoa seja consciente do que ela está consumindo e o ambiente que ela está vivendo. E o terceiro, que seria a pesquisa científica, desenvolvimento a longo prazo, que faz com que essas pessoas tenham projetado um futuro melhor para as próximas gerações, para evitar mais desastres naturais.
Hoje, as pessoas enfrentam simultaneamente os impactos das mudanças climáticas e os efeitos devastadores da pandemia por Covid-19. Embora as interações entre mudanças climáticas e saúde ainda sejam um novo campo para pesquisa, a pandemia revelou que conter algumas doenças contagiosas pode ser sim dificultado por impactos climáticos, como ondas de calor, escassez de água e também o excesso de água, como as inundações que presenciamos no estado do Acre no ano de 2021. Precisamos estar preparados para enfrentar diferentes cenários. E este é o momento.
Mhm. Thank you very much for this very, very strong message and this very current topic as well for Germany. And it gave us a new framing for the MAP region, to think the MAP region coming from the migration perspective. It's a really fantastic new aspect for us. Thank you very much. Very strong video. Okay, thank you. How are we proceeding?
Yes, now we would like to welcome working group number 3. I know they also prepared a presentation about the topic they did the research on during the PRODIGY course. So Marlis, yes.
Hi, hello, sorry, I was trying to put this here. Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here, especially for the ones who are watching us on YouTube. It's gonna be really an amazing class if you are thinking on applying for the next cohort. So the presentation is gonna be in Spanish, and I will be presenting in Spanish and English, so everyone will have the opportunity to understand what we're trying to say to you guys. Nosotros somos el grupo número 3, donde nos hemos enfocado un poco en el tema de gobernanza ambiental y también en conflictos de tierra y territorio en la región MAP. Somos un grupo muy dinámico de 10 personas que a lo largo del curso hemos compartido, hemos aprendido y creo que en realidad hemos logrado tener un producto bastante bueno a pesar de la pandemia y a pesar también del poco tiempo. So we are the group number 3, focused on conflicts on land and territory in the MAP region. We are 10 very committed people that have been working together in all this time. So, aquí pueden ver en este primer slide, vamos a hablar un poco sobre el contexto, después la metodología, después cada uno de las tres áreas que incluyen el MAP region y después un poco de las conclusiones. As you can see in this first slide, we are going to talk a little bit about the context and a little bit about the methodology, and then we're going to go into each part of the MAP region, and after that we're going to finish with some conclusions. So what is the context of this? So what is the Amazon? Many people talk about the Amazon. They think they know the Amazon, but it's really this complex biome that it has a high biodiversity with a lot of fauna and flora, but also it has people in there. So el contexto realmente es esa Amazonía que todos conocemos, una Amazonía que es bastante diversa, que tiene animales, que tiene plantas, pero que también tiene personas, lo cual que hace que este contexto sea un poco más complejo de lo que podríamos nosotros pensar. So, the MAP region, as you heard before, is compounded with Madre de Dios, Acre, and Pando. And basically, this is a very rich area with high biodiversity, as I said before. But however, also we have people in there. So people are looking for opportunities, economic opportunities, because they obviously they want to live. They want to make economy, and also they want food on their tables, right? But this also may be connected with more activities, human activities or anthropic activities that may not be concealed with the Amazon per se. And this will lead to some kind of conflicts. And also it elevates the complexity that is in this region. And so what we did, it was a comparative analysis of these conflicts in the land and territory in this MAP region. So, como ya dije antes, esta es una región con recursos naturales bastante alto, muy biodiversa, pero obviamente tenemos personas ahí viviendo, entonces esto es lo que hace que muchas personas buscan, obviamente todos buscamos oportunidades económicas y vamos realizando actividades que muchas veces no van de la mano con lo que es el cuidado, la conservación y preservación del medio ambiente, lo cual va a generar un conflicto entre las personas, entre los diferentes usuarios, entre los diferentes actores que viven en la región, y esto va a ir elevando la complejidad dentro de todo lo que son los conflictos. Entonces, como grupo, lo que quisimos hacer fue un análisis comparativo de los conflictos sobre la tierra y el territorio. So what was the methodology we used? We used the Rexinski framework. It has different aspects. However, we focus on the political, economic, environmental, and institutional aspects for this analysis. And some of the methods that we use were a key informant interview in two protected areas in Brazil and Bolivia. We couldn't do it in Peru. And also we did an extensive literature review. Entonces, para poder hacer este estudio comparativo, nos basamos en el esquema de Rexinski, que tiene diferentes aspectos, pero siendo por el tiempo que nosotros teníamos y también por el tema pues, de la pandemia, nosotros nos enfocamos en los aspectos políticos, económicos, institucionales y ambientales. Y algunos de los métodos que utilizamos fueron entrevistas a informantes claves. Estas entrevistas las hicimos en Brasil y en Bolivia, y lamentablemente no pudimos realizarlas en Perú. Y también hicimos una extensa revisión de literatura para poder también saber sobre qué es lo que ya estaba escrito sobre el tema. Now we're going to go a little bit deep into each case. We're going to start with Madre de Dios in Peru. So in Madre de Dios, we focus on the Reserva Tambopata. So basically, en Madre de Dios nos estamos enfocando en lo que es la Reserva Tambopata. Acá uno de los problemas más grandes que se ha identificado es la minería de oro, que conlleva muchos problemas sociales y ambientales, ¿no? Este tema ha ido incrementándose en los últimos años en el Perú, especialmente en esta área, y a través de diferentes procesos donde el gobierno trató de cómo legalizarlos y cómo de cómo ponerlos, enmarcarlos dentro de la ley, pues lo que hizo es ir criminalizando a muchos de los mineros de oro, ¿no? Lo que ha causado problemas y conflictos muy fuertes entre los oficiales del orden y también los garimpeiros, ¿no? También hemos identificado que hay una falta de claridad en las responsabilidades de regulación. Y bueno, que los propietarios de las concesiones y comunidades indígenas muchas veces han ido quedando solos. So the focus of the Madre de Dios in the Reserva Tambopata was the gold mining, which it's been increasing a lot lately in the last years. And it was, so it caused a lot of social and environmental problems. And the criminalization of the gold miners, it's been in higher lately because of the lack of clarity of regulation and responsibilities, especially from the government. And sometimes the people who are in charge of these concessions or in the communities, in the indigenous communities, they are left by themselves to try to deal with all these issues in their territory. So I think that we are going to share this link. So whenever you have time and you want, you can click in this when it says more info, and it's going to open a little window here where you will be able to read in depth a little bit more information about this. En caso de que nosotros vayamos a socializar este link, entonces ustedes pueden hacer clic acá en información y van a poder ver un poco de información más detallada sobre cada caso. In the case of the Acre, so we focus on the Risex Chico Mendes, and basically we have been seeing an increase in ganadería in the reserve, and also it's being like the agro-industrial political power sector, it's been dominating lately, and there is a big number of actors that are inside this, in charge of the governance processes inside the reserve. So there is a lot of different actors that has different stakes and has different interests and different level of power. So this make all these cattle rancher problem more complicated and more complex. And also because there is these different kind of actors that are trying to use the resources they also have different interests on that. So that makes the problem more complicated. So en el caso de la reserva de Chico Méndez se ha visto que el tema de la ganadería ha ido incrementándose bastante y que el dominio público del sector agroindustrial también se ha ido potenciando en los últimos años, dando una importancia más fuerte al sector agroindustrial. Y como nosotros también hicimos una identificación de actores en cada área, entonces se identificaron que en esta área hay diferentes tipos de actores dentro de la reserva que están implicados dentro de los procesos de gobernanza y cada uno con diferentes intereses, diferente poder también sobre qué es lo que está pasando, ¿no? Entonces esto hace que el problema sea aún más complejo. Después en Pando tenemos el enfoque en lo que es la reserva Manuripi. En este caso hemos visto que existe una creciente demanda interna de tierras por parte de las nuevas familias en la zona. O sea, las familias van creciendo, van teniendo hijos y quieren pues mayor tierra, lo cual no está permitido dentro de la legislación de las áreas protegidas. También se ha visto un incremento en actividades ilegales de pesca, de minería y extracción de madera. Y esto va muchas veces ligado por el tema de que existe una lejanía por parte de las autoridades dentro de la reserva y también para cómo lidiar con conflictos, ¿no? Existe un limitado número de guardapartias que cuidan la reserva, por lo tanto ellos no pueden dar cuenta de todas las actividades que se están realizando dentro de la reserva y también una escasa coordinación entre las autoridades. Y por último, un limitado financiamiento para las actividades de monitoreo y resguardo de la reserva. In the case of the Pando in the Manuripi Reserve, we have been seeing a high demand, internal demand for land for the communities of people who live inside the reserve. So they have children and the children grow up, they get married and they want more land. However, that is prohibited inside the reserve. So they cannot give them more land because it's a reserve. And also it's been lately an increase in the illegal activities like fishing, mining, and wood extraction. Because the reserve is kind of farther from the authorities, so it makes the issue more complicated. And also the number of rangers had been reduced lately, so they are not able to cover the whole reserve to trying to monitor and see what is really happening in the reserve. And there is no a good coordination between the authorities in the national level, departmental level, and local level. So it's really difficult to try to coordinate and solve conflict inside the reserve. And on the top of that, we have the lack of financing. So because they don't have enough budget, the rangers cannot do monitoring activities inside the reserve. So until now, hasta ahorita hemos podido mostrar un poquito sobre el contexto, cómo es lo que hemos ido viendo y también entrando un poquito dentro de cada uno de los departamentos y estados que comprende la región MAP. Ahora vamos a ver un poquito de las conclusiones. Entre las conclusiones podemos nosotros decir que la región MAP se encuentra en la periferia de sus respectivos países. Nosotros pensamos, bueno, Pando está en la periferia de Bolivia, Madre de Dios está en la periferia de Perú y Acre está en la periferia de Brasil. Y este alejamiento de las autoridades centrales ha permitido que prosperen ciertas actividades extractivas ilícitas que se encuentran fuera de la ley, porque obviamente no existe esa coordinación entre los diferentes niveles. La falta de articulación institucional y la vaguedad en la normativa dificultan los procesos de resolución de conflictos y causa un riesgo de los servicios ecosistémicos para la sociedad local y regional. La protección de los pueblos indígenas y la preservación de las actividades tradicionales es vital para poder garantizar una gestión adecuada de los bosques tropicales. So talking a little bit about conclusions, we could say that the MAP region is in the periphery of their countries. So it's like the last point of the country. So, and because of this, the central authorities are not able to coordinate very well with the departmental levels or with the municipal levels, and that is that opens a window or an opportunity that illegal activities take out in these regions. So the lack of articulation between the institutions and the normative that is sometimes very light, it's gonna like make things more difficult, and also it's gonna prevent that conflict resolution takes in place accordingly and in the best way. And of course, this is a high risk for the ecosystem services that the protected areas provide to the society at the local and regional level. And also we could say that the protection of the indigenous communities and preservation of the traditional communities is very vital in order to guarantee the good management of the tropical forest. So, ese sería nuestro pequeño resumen. Si alguno de ustedes quiere mirar el documento completo, puede ingresar a este pequeño link y les va a abrir acá el documento donde ustedes van a poder ver. So if you want to see the document, you could click on this little pink folder and you will see the document. And as far as for the next steps, as a group, we develop a short words for, I guess it was for the press and also for Twitter, like a summary of this document. And also we are searching for opportunities to publish this document in a publication. But yes, I think that is for my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Marlies, for this excellent presentation of the results of Working Group 3. It was a very interesting group as well, because we were sitting in so many different countries, and this is one of the assets of this course, so that we can discuss things from really different perspectives. If anybody, after reading the text, has a suggestion for a journal which is in Spanish, we would like to publish it in Spanish like it was written, then please come forward and tell us. So thank you very much, and we move on. Claudia, what is happening now?
Yeah. Now we are going to watch a video about climate change. Afterwards, we will hear the presentation of Working Group number 4. Then we will present a podcast from Working Group number 1 about mycorrhiza. And then we will hear some of the work the Working Group 5 did. So I'm sharing my screen again, and let's see what group number 3 wants to tell us about climate change.
O derretimento de gelo na Groenlândia atingiu um ponto irreversível.
Foi uma semana de desespero para a população do Acre, que está enfrentando a maior cheia da história. O nível do rio que atravessa todo o estado chegou a 18 metros.
Mudanças climáticas são alterações no clima de determinada região ou em escala global. As preocupações se concentram principalmente na ação do homem. Isso porque o aumento do consumo, a exploração indevida dos recursos naturais, eleva a emissão dos gases de efeito estufa, principalmente o dióxido de carbono, diminuindo assim a capacidade dos ecossistemas de absorvê-lo e transformá-lo em oxigênio. O aumento da concentração de gases de efeito estufa altera o balanço de calor do planeta e, como consequência, eventos climáticos atípicos, como o derretimento das geleiras nos polos, secas em locais antes inexistentes, tempestades agressivas, começam a se manifestar. Esse processo afeta tanto o meio ambiente quanto as pessoas, como, por exemplo, contribuindo para o desabrigo e até a migração. Secas mais frequentes, como no estado do Acre nos anos de 2005, 2010 e 2016, as cheias dos rios também do Acre nos anos de 2015 e 2020, que forçou milhares de pessoas a deixarem suas casas em razão do transbordamento dos rios, são exemplos muito claros de que mudanças climáticas importantes já ocorrem na Amazônia sul-occidental. A ação desmedida do homem, também conhecida como antrópica, é o principal fator de degradação da natureza. Os exemplos mais importantes são os desmatamentos para a retirada de madeira e formação de pasto, além das plantações e as queimadas registradas cada vez com frequência crescente. Essas ações, quando desenvolvidas visando somente o lucro, podem resultar em danos irreversíveis, como processos de savanização, pois influenciam diretamente no fenômeno dos rios voadores, que possuem as árvores como responsáveis de retirar a água do solo e direcionar para a atmosfera através da evapotranspiração. Os desmatamentos, junto com as queimadas, em escala local, destroem os complexos ecossistemas onde são realizados, extinguindo a fauna e a flora ali existentes, que em muitos casos são endêmicos, e tornam o ar que respiramos poluído. Em escala regional, diminui a capacidade de absorção de umidade das florestas. Isso porque a quantidade de árvores que são retiradas influenciam diretamente no processo de evapotranspiração. Como consequência, vai haver uma diminuição na quantidade de chuvas na região. Em escala global, contribui para o aumento dos gases de efeito estufa, tendo como consequência a elevação da temperatura do planeta, influenciando negativamente o meio ambiente, a economia, a política e a sociedade. Essas agressões enfraquecem o ciclo crítico da água, alterando os fenômenos atmosféricos na região e ciclagem de nutrientes do solo, prejudicando a cadeia de energia e nutrientes que mantém e alimenta grande parte da vida dos diferentes ecossistemas do bioma amazônico.
Okay, thank you very much. Again, working group 4, very productive working group, I must say. And it's a perfect introduction for your presentation on climate change as well. So please, thank you.
Hi there, everyone. So I'm just about to share my screen. Okay. All right, so welcome folks to our group's Science Slam. We're super keen to be able to share this with you, but due to the urgency of climate change in the MAP region, in South America, and of course in the rest of the world. So our group first split into 2 groups to ensure that we really got a thorough understanding on the topics of climate and migration, as you've seen, and also Amazon climate tipping points and elements. And then we regrouped a few weeks later to synergize our information. And we did that in 3 formats: a video, an article, and an infographic. And our objectives were to review the drivers and impacts of climate change in the MAP region specifically, using evidence supported by news media outlets and peer-reviewed scientific journals. Of course, evaluate human migrations within or near to the MAP region due to climate change, and most importantly, is mainstream the crucial information that we've gained and gathered regarding climate change impacts in Southwestern Amazonia. So Yara, can you please, what did we learn? Well, we learned a lot of stuff. We were very lucky to be able to be taught by experts in these topics. So we looked at anthropology, meteorology, ecology, mycology, sociology, and policy studies. And most importantly, learned the importance of interdisciplinary studies. We gained an invaluable experience writing an article on climate change and producing educational material in video and infographic format. And we were very lucky to be reviewed by our incredible professors, Dr. Galia Salaya and Dr. Foster Brown. And we've also gained some presentation skills and a little bit more confidence due to having to repetitively presenting our work and live seminars. So Yara, can you please share with our viewers our final products and talk a little bit about that?
Sure thing. Thanks, Natalie. Hi there, it's a pleasure to be able to share with our final products. We produce educational material about climate change impacts in the MEP region in 3 formats: a report, and an article, and a review on climate change in Southwestern Amazon. The article will be published on the project website. And another product is an infographic for high school students explaining the role of trees in the Amazon's water cycle and the flying rivers phenomenon. And the last products, some videos, 3 videos. And the first video, climate and migration in Southwestern Amazon. And another video, it's a climate change in the Amazon, breaking points. In the last video, Amazon flying rivers for a wide target audience. The last 2 videos have already been showcased in the United Nations Climate Change Week in this year. Okay. So, and the report was titled Global Issues Seen from the Southwestern Amazon, a review on impacts and drivers of climate change in the MEP region. And in the report, we discussed increasing frequency and intensity of climate change events recorded with the MEP region, such as increasing dry season, temperatures and length, as well as the increasing MEP flow and through frequencies and intensity. Okay, and the report also reviewed the current rates of deforestation in elaborating on green economy solution to offer in drives of climate change, such as slash and burn activities must be halted, and other points. Okay. Okay, Natalie. And we created an infographic poster explaining the process behind evapotranspiration. And the target audience is high school and university students in the MEP region. In the infographic in 3 languages, English, Portuguese, and Spanish for our group in the MEP region too. Okay. And we created a few videos regarding the flying rivers phenomenon, climate and migration in Southwestern Amazonia, Amazonian tipping points. We are super pleased because of our video was showcasing the United Nations Climate Change Weekend. That was a Amazonia Flying Rivers video. The migration process, for example, goes beyond skin colors or head type. It's a natural process made by various forms of life, such as plants. And it needs to be understood to be managed better. Climate change enhances the reason to migrate. Fire and drought are a good example. My video allowed me to go beyond stereotype and generalization. I identify with them, and a lot of emotions were involved during the constructing process of the videos. As a mother that I am, I feel like I saw that child and mother in the photo, for example. So Natalie, what can you tell us?
Great, thanks, Yara. Well, just to finish up the last few slides, we're going to talk about what we learned personally. Something we learned during our experience focusing on the map region is that transboundary problems require transboundary solutions. Solutions for mitigating tipping points require collaboration between different genders, demographics, and nationalities. Our group is therefore a symbol of the solution. Our group was composed of students and teachers from different countries, such as Brazil, USA, Bolivia, Germany, Nigeria, Kuwait, and England. In this sense, the acquired experience has surpassed theoretical limits. This is because our group's diverse ethnicity and demographic background enabled us to learn of each other's cultures and languages during our meetings.
It's very important, Natalie. Thank you so much. Now I have many friends in different countries too. And Natalie helps me a lot with my English because Portuguese is my native tongue. We can truly say with my that our knowledge has transcended beyond theoretical knowledge. Collaboration is essential to solving climate change issues. Different countries, great integration, and we did it. And we are an example of integration to the world, manifesting in the map region.
And just our last slide, during our entire process, we ensured that communication between our working groups, professors, Dr. Foster Brown, Dr. Gale Salaya, and student members was frequent, efficacious, and productive. Apart from an invaluable learning experience gained by all our group members, we enjoyed our meetings and found the entire course inspiring, interesting, and enjoyable on all fronts. This last image is a group of volunteers from Madre de Dios just, I think, 6 months ago, who did a reforestation project along the highway. And I thought it was a nice end working together. Thank you very much. A couple of acknowledgements as well.
Yeah. So thank you very much for this highly professional presentation. Glaciani just remembered me that we should have done it as well. And I think to name all the group members, we didn't do so, we forgot about it. But I think what you said in the end is true for all groups. We all had this marvelous experience to work with people from different countries, experiences, backgrounds, and had this peer learning experience in the group. So I think as well, your word to say transboundary problems need transboundary solutions are very true for our map region. And through you and the people working in this course, we got completely new entry points to the region. And we thank you for that. So now I pass back to Claudia.
Thank you very much for the presentation. Now we will listen to a podcast that was created by working group number 1. And this is in Spanish, and I think they are doing some other podcasts too. So thank you very much, working group number 1, because you also did a great job. Yes, so.
And it's on Mykorrhiza, ne? For the people who don't understand Spanish, you will see it. It's about Mykorrhiza.
Okay, so it is just a podcast.
La biodiversidad en nuestros suelos. Un mundo lleno de sorpresas. Los principales desafíos de los suelos amazónicos y la importancia de la biodiversidad en el suelo para su preservación y funcionamiento.
Hola queridos oyentes, ¿cómo están? Espero que estén todo bien y me puedan escuchar. Mi nombre es Ayrton Muñoz, soy locutor y periodista con más de 10 años de experiencia y hoy estoy aquí para hablar con la ingeniera Galia Zelaya, investigadora principal del proyecto Salud del Bosque, ecóloga de bosques tropicales. Le damos la bienvenida a usted y a todos los que nos escuchan.
¿Cómo están, queridos amigos? Les saludamos fraternalmente y les damos la bienvenida a este espacio creado para compartir y aprender.
En este episodio hablaremos sobre un tema que no se discute a menudo en nuestras conversaciones en todo el mundo, pero que es de enorme importancia para la existencia de la Amazonía tal como es hoy. Hablemos sobre nuestros ecosistemas y suelos amazónicos. Con la cantidad de información a la que se tiene acceso hoy en día, ¿puede decirnos cuáles son las principales amenazas futuras que enfrenta la Amazonía?
Los problemas más graves están relacionados al cambio climático y la deforestación. La deforestación especialmente causa pérdida de biodiversidad y esta pérdida también ocurre en los suelos y por lo tanto estamos perdiendo microorganismos, principalmente hongos, que benefician a las plantas y luchan contra las enfermedades.
Y me imagino que estas amenazas podrían afectarnos hoy en día.
Muy cierto. Las consecuencias no son solo cosa del futuro, sino que ya estamos experimentando las consecuencias en nuestro día a día. En la región MAP, actualmente, las temperaturas máximas alcanzan altos registros y al mismo tiempo los periodos secos se vuelven más largos y graves. Esto aumenta la mortalidad de los árboles y por lo tanto amenaza nuestros bosques y la estabilidad del sistema natural del planeta.
¿Podría explicar cómo el cambio climático y la deforestación afectan a los suelos amazónicos?
Bueno, sabemos que es muy aburrido hablar solo de los problemas, pero para pensar en soluciones, el primer paso es entender los retos. Con esto en mente, hemos resumido para ustedes lo que serían actualmente los mayores problemas a los que se enfrentan los suelos amazónicos. Es importante entender que los suelos aquí son generalmente muy ácidos, porque han estado expuestos a las fuerzas de la tierra durante miles de años. Con las fuertes lluvias que tenemos, los nutrientes son lixiviados, es decir, lavados, dejando solo muy pocos minerales, como el hierro, aluminio o cuarzo, cerca de la superficie. Además, por la acidez del suelo, las raíces de las plantas que se cultivan aquí crecen menos. Esto impide que se desarrollen hasta el punto de resistir eventos de sequía extrema, por ejemplo.
Si es tan difícil para las plantas llegar a nutrientes y crecer raíces, ¿cómo se pudo desarrollar una floresta tan abundante aquí?
Es ahí donde entran los microorganismos al juego. Los microorganismos tienen la capacidad de extraer nutrientes, por ejemplo el fósforo, y con esta capacidad llegan a las plantas y las proveen con estos nutrientes a cambio de azúcar que las plantas generan por sus hojas. Esta ayuda mutua o simbiosis es la base de nuestro ecosistema único. Las simbiosis pueden ser muy variadas y proporcionar muchos beneficios, no solamente a la floresta, sino también a los agricultores. Son los agricultores los que realmente saben cuidar y explorar las posibilidades de la tierra y los organismos que la habitan, y saben extraer de ellos los mejores beneficios para nosotros.
Bien, hablemos un poco más de esta simbiosis. ¿Cómo nos imaginamos que ocurre? ¿Qué organismos pueden estar implicados?
Simbiosis significa que dos o más organismos cooperan y cada uno recibe algo a cambio. Por ejemplo, En el suelo existe una simbiosis entre los hongos y las plantas. Las plantas proporcionan el azúcar que los hongos no saben producir. En cambio, el hongo utiliza su asombrosa capacidad para buscar nutrientes y agua y los proporciona a la planta. Estoy hablando de plantas en general, porque más de 80% de todas las plantas reciben esta ayuda de los hongos o bacterias. Es increíble la cantidad de vida que está debajo de nuestros pies y debemos cuidarla, porque nos beneficia de forma extraordinaria a nosotros, los humanos.
Amigos, llegamos a la parte final de este programa de radio, en el cual hemos compartido información importante para usted. Por eso confiamos que podamos coincidir próximamente en el otro episodio.
Este video está auspiciado por el proyecto PRODIGY, Manejo de la Biodiversidad, Genera Sostenibilidad, financiado por el Ministerio Federal de Educación e Investigación de la República Federal de Alemania.
Okay, thank you very much. I think it's a very, very nice example for scientific communication. It's a form we can use more, no? Because in the Amazon, there are so many places where only radio comunitarios are reaching. So I think it's a very good format to communicate complicated contents, and I really liked it. It's understandable because I'm a social scientist, and for me it was understandable. So you explained it really good, and I think it should circulate by radios comunitarios. Okay, now we come to our last working group. We have a working group 5. My question is, because they achieved something incredible, which is very difficult in science. They transcended the scientific environment and got into the global governance environment. Camilla, would you tell us how you achieved it and how was the experience and the collaboration as well with Working Group 4? Thank you, Camilla.
Thank you, Regina. Thank you, Claudia. So it was very, very nice experience for us. We were expecting to find an international event to present our results and to raise awareness to our tipping points and our questions in the Amazon region. We tried, I would explain you before I tell you the results. I want to understand a little bit of what we tried to do. We couldn't at the end, but I think it's important for you to understand. So at the beginning, we wanted to organize a side event at COP10 this year, CBD COP10, the Convention on Biological Diversity. But because of COVID pandemics, it wasn't possible. They still are, they haven't decided whether they will have the event this year or not. The event was supposed to happen last year. Then they said that it would be this year, but so far they haven't responded. So we wanted to organize this side event in the main event regarding biodiversity. It wasn't possible. We tried and we waited and we wrote them many times, and also Hammond wrote them as well, asking whether it would be possible for us to have our results shown in this event. But we didn't succeed. We tried to find other events, big ones, that we could be there as well. Unfortunately, we're not succeeded as well. And at the end, we were almost giving up on this. And then we were considering shifting targets and trying to present our results at a climate conference. And then when we open up our horizons, this idea came up to present something at the Climate Week, UNFCCC Climate Week. And so we talked among us and we decided that it would be interesting. We could to present the only option was to present a video. So, and fortunately we have 2 beautiful videos to show. And then we talked to Jair and Natalie as well to see whether it would be possible and if the videos were ready to be broadcasted. So then we applied to this process. It was a very high level selection because it was a climate week for all over Latin America. They divided the climate weeks into the regions, the UN regions. So we applied to the Latin American one because of the Amazon, of course. So at the end we were approved. Both videos were approved to be broadcasted, and so they referred to it in the UNFCCC website, not the website, the YouTube channel, and all the and also the website, not the UNFCCC, but the Climate Week website. We were there as well, and it was an online event. So basically, we didn't have any interactions online, live interactions with them. But it was a huge opportunity for us to have our work shown up to all over the world and the UNFCCC as well. So that was it. So this was the outcome of Working Group 5, and actually happened after the course was over, because they opened the applications after the course was over. And fortunately, everything worked well, and we had this amazing surprise after the end of the course. And I thank you all Working Group 5 for everything, because we worked together a lot to make this happen, even though it happened after the group was ended. And thank you, Regina, thank you, Claudia, for all the support, and also Herman, that he helped us to talk to the main guys, to the big guys, because we were not able to get them to listen to us. It was a struggle.
This was very interesting. No? It was interesting because the access is so elitist that they wouldn't even answer emails if there isn't in the credentials is no title of professor. They wouldn't even answer. So fortunately, we had the idea afterwards that Herman is writing directly, and then they answered.
Right
so
away.
this was an interesting lesson as well. No?
Yeah, I still have to finish the poster to have all the lessons learned written down, so we can learn from that and not making, it wasn't a mistake, but we know that next course and next time that we want to have our voice heard, perhaps we have to do differently.
Yeah, it's very important. So what you have seen today, the structure of the 5 working groups is representing as well the structure of the whole course. No? So we were dealing with contents regarding soils and climate, but as well with governance, and as well with transdisciplinary and interdisciplinary communication and global governance. So who is not here today and who deserves a mentioning as well is Priscilla Viudes, who helped us from Embrapa about science communication. She met all our groups to discuss the focus of communication. So for who are we producing what, and which are the channels for good science communication, which is something which is extremely difficult. No? So the whole course was very diverse, and I think this presentation today is a good mirror of the diversity and as well of the language mix. So if anybody assisting who is considering to participate in the next course, please be aware that you need to know all 3 languages passively. No? So each person can talk with the mother tongue, but you should understand each other, because there is no solution for our language mix. Something like simultaneous translation is out of our financial means. So is there anybody, before we switch to the groups, is there anybody else who would like to comment something? Galia or Foster or Oliver or Jens, people from the teaching staff who supported us all through the course? Any comments, Foster?
Thank you to all of you. It was an experience that I've learned so much. And it's been, let's say, an emotional ride as well, to see people develop, have the frustrations, and go beyond.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, also, thank you from my side. I was very impressed with all the products that we have. And well, as a simple scientist who can only write and sometimes speak, it was really great. That I wouldn't have thought that these products are possible to be achieved in such a course. So this gives me great optimism for the future. So to everybody, well done, and to the great creativity and variety of things that we have seen. So we see that science is more than just publishing and getting certain audiences, but it's about breadth and reaching out in a lot of different means, and we can think of more even in the future. But this is really was a great outcome of this course.
Yes, thank you very much. And we will definitely keep in touch. We will have an alumni network to keep in touch with all of you. Claudia, please give us the proceedings, how it is going to continue.
Yes, so now we are going to make a little pause, so break. If you want to grab some water or just like stand up for a bit, and we will start in the Zoom session. So we meet here again in 20 minutes. And all of you who are in the YouTube channel, I already wrote you my email address. If you don't have the Zoom link and want to join us in smaller conversations, then just write me an email and I will send you the Zoom link. And in this next part, we just want to gather in these smaller groups, and maybe you have some questions about the results we presented, or maybe you want to know about the experiences of the participants or get to know each other. Sí, entonces ahora vamos a tener una pequeña pausa para que puedan estirar las piernas o ir a tomar un poco de agua, y nos vamos a encontrar acá de nuevo en el Zoom. A quienes están viéndonos en YouTube, ya les envié mi correo por si no tienen el link para ingresar al Zoom, y nos vemos acá como en 20 minutos para juntarnos en grupos más pequeños y conversar, no sé, de las particularidades de los resultados, o tal vez tienen preguntas, si quieren saber más de las experiencias de las y los participantes. Entonces los esperamos acá dentro de 20 minutos y sí.
And we stay here, no? In this.
Yes, we stay here.
Okay.
And then I will explain that later. So you can, I don't know, turn your camera off if you want. I'm gonna stop the YouTube live.
Okay, so we meet in 20 minutes.
Yeah.